Hey guys, you're listening to episode 21 of the House of R.E.P, aka Thor. I'm your host, Janjua. We're going to be reviewing the reboot prequel, I would say, or the third film in the Charlie's Angels movie franchise. We just had a look at it on Sky. And it's directed by Elizabeth Banks, starring Kirsten Stewart and a few other well-known names. Patrick Stewart's in it too, playing Bosley. And let's see what they did right and what they did wrong with this one. Hey guys, so this is episode 21, and you are listening to Thor, aka the House of R.E.P. I'm your host, director, and filmmaker Janjua, and R.E.P Night. My team's called the R.E.P Nights. We make movies, TV shows, music videos, anything that we can throw at it. I'm joined by Pri, the R.E.P Valkyrie, and the light of the R.E.P Night. Say hi, Pri.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our beautiful podcast.
Yes, it's a beautiful and amazing podcast that shines on all. So, we're talking about Charlie's Angels. So, this is the new version of Charlie's Angels. This is a very interesting film because it's sort of like a semi reboot, reinvigoration of the franchise. It's kind of like what they dub a requel, and it's like a sort of term that they use in the industry where you're making a sequel, but you're also soft rebooting the story with new actors and characters. So Elizabeth Banks, the actress who was made famous in Spider-Man and then crafted her own career as a filmmaker with the Pitch Perfect series, is in this movie. She plays a Charlie's Angel who basically became a Bosley, and we'll talk more about how the Bosley character has evolved into more of a code name, and the Townsend Agency, which was the original Californian-based agency in the TV show, has evolved. So, Pri, tell me like your initial, just like soft thoughts on the film. Like when you saw the idea of wanting to watch this film, what kind of drew you to it?
I didn't want to see the movie, honey.
Mm,
You wanted to see the movie.
mm,
And I was like, okay, let's go for it. I
yeah.
mean, I always liked the previous Charlie's Angels
Mm-hmm.
when Drew Barrymore, Cameron Diaz, Lucy were doing it. I mean, that
Yeah.
was the most amazing, a movie that I've seen.
So
And
those were fun, right? Because
of
McGee
course, it
directed
was
them and
hilarious. It was fun. It was
over
hilarious.
the top
It
and
was like amazing action
yeah,
movie. It was a mixture of everything:
yeah,
comedy, action,
yeah.
fun. I mean, you just name it. And
Mm,
those three actors, they
mm,
did so well. And the way they portrayed, I mean,
mm,
I totally love it. And when this new, recall or whatever you call it came,
mm,
I was a bit reluctant to watch it. I mean,
mm-hmm.
I didn't, and especially those three actors. I mean,
So let's talk about the cast dynamic because
yeah.
very poor casting, right, of the main characters to try and kind of switch it up and make them a bit different. So we've got Kirsten Stewart is coming off of the back of Twilight and a few other films. Um, I find
I
her a
mean,
very wooden actress. I have to be very
I
honest.
know you didn't like that movie's Twilight, but
Yeah, I'm not a
I,
huge fan of the Twilight
I,
franchise. I never
I,
got into it.
I, I
Yeah,
like the movie
but you like
Twilight.
them, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
we'll
mean,
review them after. I'll watch them
yeah,
again with you.
definitely. And I've always seen Kristen like as that
The character,
Twilight lady.
right? Yeah.
I've never picture her as a rebellious angel. I mean,
Mm,
I was like, okay, let's give her a shot. And when I saw in that movie, it didn't suit her that at all.
mm,
I I prefer her in the Twilight movie, not in this action type. It doesn't
mm,
suit her that much.
mm.
Sorry, Kristen, but I mean,
You think she's like she can do action, but it's more of a fantasy style. But when they tried to ground her into this reality as this kind of like ex-criminal con man kind of agent, you see
yeah,
the problem I have with the Charlie's Angels is that they're all received sort of like a military training and a sort of like a fighting prowess and a training from the Townsend Agency, which has more funding. But what they don't do is like the basic premise and the spoiler alert. If you're gonna be listening to this, you can watch and listen to this podcast and like just get the story from me, which I'll wrap it up, or you can watch the movie and then listen to this podcast. So if you want to watch the film and then make your own opinion, you can just pause the podcast, have a look at the movie, and then come back to the podcast. Or if you just don't want to watch the movie because you don't think it's going to be good, or you just don't want to see it and you want to listen to the podcast, just carry on listening. And basically, I'll tell you that the original show had a man called Charlie who was like a benefactor, and he created a private detective agency called the Townsend Agency. And the show I think was on ABC or NBC, and it was created in, I think, with Aaron Spelling, the 90210 dude and stuff, who's like the king of all these kind of soap opera kind of shows and stuff. And it was about three female, I think they were like police officers or something, who were frustrated about not being able to advance and pursue their careers fully. So they're hired by this private detective agency to become angels. Now, the title of an angel is very important because it's a source of light and strength. And I think that the entire message of this film is kind of steps all over what an angel is supposed to be. So now this film is trying to portray female empowerment, but what it's doing is actually doing the exact opposite. It's basically doing a kind of cringy version of that. So it's forcing it all down our throats. There was amazing montages of all these young women and women doing athletic and brave stuff, like just taking charge of their lives and doing things. And that's brilliant because everybody in life, has this power, the power of humanity. And that's what the Rep Knights believe in, that we all basically are one together. And the whole point of the Angels is that even though Charlie is a male character and he's made this agency, he still has his soldiers are his angels. They're in the field, they're doing all the work. So he trusts them. He trusts in that female strength to deliver results.
Yeah.
And this film sort of like tries to touch on that, but it messes it up because it forces you to say that, okay, all men are useless, everyone's a villain, this and that. It's a very anti-male film, the message. And then Elizabeth Banks was quoted as to saying that men didn't want to go watch this film
But it
because they wanted
was,
stuff. But I'm the one
but
who wanted to
but
see
it
it.
was so funny. It wasn't
Yeah.
me, guys. It was Ray who wanted to see the
Yeah, because I
movie.
wanted to see
I
what they
was
were
like,
doing
and
with
for
Charlie's
me,
Angels.
if he didn't tell me, I would have never watched the movie, to be honest. And the funny part is, like, it was him who was like, "Baby, let's watch this movie." I was like,
Yeah, I wanted to give it a
"Okay,
chance.
let's go for it." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Uh-huh."
I mean, I could see from the poster work and from the styling that there was very little effort done from the studio to pursue this movie and actually kind of like push it. And also the song itself, like the harmonics and the lyrics, like, sorry, the beats and the way it's written, like whoever did all the beats and the stuff of the song are great, but the lyrics are horrible. It's like, don't call me angel, being
But
all
this
this kind of
one,
stuff. And I'm like, but it's the show's called the gig is called Charlie's Angels. So why would you flip it? Why don't you write a song that says angels are wicked, we're badass women and stuff? Like, we don't even need you to actually tell us that these women are badass. We just need to see them do badass stuff. And on top of that, everyone seems to have this fighting proficiency. So they're like instant kung fu fighters after a little bit of
but
training.
honey, I don't mind people calling us angels because we are warrior angels. We
Exactly.
fight,
That's why you're a
we
Valkyrie.
fight, we conquer.
Yeah.
I mean, I was trying to
You defeat evil with your
listen.
light.
Yes, indeed. And I was trying to listen to this music, and I'm trying to understand why.
Mm.
I mean,
The perspective of a woman, like, what did you feel when you saw this film? Did you feel that it was the opposite of what it's trying to do? Like, were you feeling like the characters were portrayed strong, or did they have goofy levels of intelligence? Because what I saw from a male perspective was that, okay, we've got these strong female characters, but sometimes they do really smart stuff, and then they do really silly stuff.
mm,
So their level of intelligence changes to the parameters of the script. So the script hasn't been written very smartly, or it hasn't been fully executed. And then the start, like the first acts, of the
mm,
film, like the very sophomorean parts with Jimon Hunsu, Patrick
mm.
Stewart, and stuff, and all the action, that was really tight. You know, it was well shot and put together, and it was sort of picking up momentum. And I thought this was going to be like an efficient team, you know. And then suddenly
And
they
slowly,
start acting
slowly
kind of
faded
weird, and
away.
you know, and they start acting stupid, and they do silly things. And the addition of Naomi Scott is so cringy because she's just a scientist, and suddenly she's qualifies to be an angel. So they just recruit people blindly, you know, without vetting them properly.
Mm.
Then things like that, I don't understand. Like,
I mean, this movie clearly is against men. Yeah, it clearly shows that. Even I didn't like the fact like Bosley was the bad guy. No, I
mm.
mean
I thought that
Patrick.
that was a cardinal sin, making Patrick Stewart the villain,
Yeah,
because he's a very beautiful and gentle man and a fantastic actor. He's one of
he
my
is.
favorite actors.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
Patrick Ray loves you like crazy.
yeah, he's like, you
I mean,
know, for me, he's like my TV uncle. I call him my movie uncle.
he is
You know, I
great.
just grew up with this guy, so
He is great, honey. Like,
yeah.
indeed, definitely a great actor, and
Mm.
portraying him as a villain doesn't really suit.
No, I don't
It
think
didn't.
Bosley should have been the villain. I think that that was a classic mistake that you do where you want to switch things up and try to be hip. Let's make the good guy the bad guy and betray them from within. That's stupid. What I was thinking and what I would have written was that over time angels have gotten hurt and burnt in the
Mm,
field. So one angel got really badly hurt or something by some guy or something, like a team, like defeated her, so she didn't really forgive Charlie for not pursuing them or something. And
mm,
they're like these enemies of the angels. And she goes and makes her own renegade group. So technically, there's not a bad guy, but there's
yeah.
another faction, like another agency, like, you know, that she made. And Demi Moore's character from the original film was part of that group. She helped fund it. So that's how you can tie it into the original films. And this lady is like the protege of Demi Moore's character, you
Mm,
know. So there's a lot of things that are missing as well. You've got pictures of Lucy Liu, you've got pictures of Drew Barrymore, you got pictures of the original Charlie's Angels in the field, you've also
mm,
got the wardrobes and the stuff from original. You're trying to tie it into the original Angels from the
mm,
70s 80s show. Now the problem with that, right, is that what you could have done is, instead of having a phoned in cameo with this actress, you could have had a day play contract with them. So what I would have done is I would have said, okay, let me just work the budget here. Let me get a day play contract with one of these veteran actors, and let me anchor them as the mentor figure. So I want to. The problem with the film is that it's not focused on one angel's perspective. There's three angels, so there's three storylines going on, and they're
mm,
colliding with each other. If we had someone like Kirsten Stewart be the veteran leader, and she wants to get revenge because maybe her mentor defected to that evil angel group,
mm,
and then Naomi Scott's her new protege, and she has to train her, but she's trying to stop giving Naomi Scott the negativities of being an angel and concentrating on the positivities of the Townsend Agency. That would have been better. And then the British one, you know, the one who's the ex MI6, you know, they said some kind of bullshit how she's like an ex MI6 agent and this and that, you know, and stuff. That would have worked out better, that she was the antagonist, so she's by the book, Kirsten Stewart's a bit loose, and they clash with each other. They tried to kind of do that, but then again, everyone's um you know, sort of mental drive and their character, you know, layout, it's they're just switching. They're like very, very switching personalities. So a minute, like at the start of the film, that woman's by the book. You know, the black girl's really fucking on it. You know, when it comes to like guns and shooting and stuff. Then suddenly she switches and she's very sensitive and she's, you know, getting kind
oh,
of
that
doe-eyed on the
sensitive part when
guy.
she was crying, like
Yeah.
as if
Oh, oh,
it didn't show. I mean, if she
it felt
was
forced.
no, if she was crying, they should have shown some kind of a connection
Yeah.
with her
Yeah.
initially. Like
Yeah.
they're so into, they're really
Yeah.
connected,
Yeah.
but it was like a switch from A to Z.
See, that's the problem.
I
Like,
mean, when she started crying, I was like, what happened?
yeah,
Like,
because before she had a kind of antagonistic kind of "I don't really care about you too much" view on Kirsten Stewart's character. Then suddenly they're like sisters, like tight sisters. That doesn't really happen in real life, you
but you
know.
know this new actress, Naomi Scott. I didn't like her.
I don't like Naomi
No, no,
Scott
no.
at
I
all.
didn't like her acting in this Charlie's Angel movie, but I feel she should be given another chance in some other action movie
Maybe.
because
Maybe. She was in Power Rangers, which I will never watch. I hate that
oh,
reboot.
it wasn't good.
So she played the
I
new
haven't seen
Kimberly,
it.
which I thought, like, everything about the new Power Ranger film I hate because
Mm.
I've written a wicked Power Ranger film with the team, which is like 100 million times better than this. This would basically bridge the. It's very similar to Shattered Grid and the Boom comics. So the Boom comics that Power Rangers did is really good, but I've written something that's really amazing. And the Power Rangers films just don't really do it. Like, they just don't get it right. And the new one is just terrible. And Naomi Scott's in that. And she's also in, like, Aladdin and stuff. So she pretty much is in a lot of stuff. And I don't think that she has that kind of caliber to, like, carry these kind of films. This this other actress, what was the other actress's name? Pretty
Ella Ella Blinsky.
Ella Blinsky.
Sorry.
Ella Belinsky. So
Okay.
Belinska. So Ella Belinska.
Wait, I got
She's
mixed
the
up.
MI6 agent, right?
Oh God, I got mixed up with the actresses.
Oh, so you would prefer to see Ella
Oh
in another
no!
movie?
Oh, sorry guys, I mixed up with the actresses. Oh my
Mm,
God, it wasn't Naomi Scott. It was
mm,
Ella.
yeah,
Oh, Naomi, I don't want to say anything. Sorry, Ella Belinsky was the one
yeah.
who was crying. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Remember she was crying and
yeah.
showing all those emotions.
Mhm.
It was Ella. Sorry guys, it wasn't Naomi.
Yeah.
I wanted Ella to act in some other action movie
Okay, you
because
want to?
she
Yeah.
has that characteristic
Mm.
female, you know.
I agree with you. I think she's one of the standout performances in
Yeah.
the in the in the
Sorry,
um
I mixed up
in the
guys.
actual movie. What do you
No,
what do you
no.
think of Elizabeth Banks's acting? As the kind of Blonsky. I was gonna say the Bosley the Bosley agent
I mean,
or
I
senior
do
angel.
like her being the strong character. I just didn't like the fact of changing Bosley to be the villain.
Hmm.
It shouldn't be that way. Maybe she could have been the villain.
I actually thought she was the villain. They were doing this kind of like double blind thing, and they kind of almost fooled me where they
But
were gonna.
remember when that the bomb blast happened, and I
Yeah.
said, it's gonna be definitely Patrick the bad guy
Yeah,
because
you knew it when he was coming in, his look and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was just I thought it was crap. I'll be really honest. Like, it was just really crap. Like, the film at that point, man, was making me fall asleep. Like,
Did you like her in that movie? What was that singing movie again?
Pitch Perfect.
Yes.
I've actually never seen them. Like, I need to do a House of R.E.P on them, like, soon, when I get the chance. I'll watch the franchise.
I mean, having two characteristic feature about Elizabeth Banks, like in Pitch
Mm,
Perfect and again in Charlie's Angels,
mm,
I think she can portray both. Like in Pitch Perfect was that hilarious anchor or whatever
right,
that,
right,
and then
yeah.
she's showing this strong character.
Mm.
I think it's all right. It just like I didn't like the fact that Patrick being the villain.
I think she's taken a lot of short steps to become a successful filmmaker, and I think that that's kind of a bit unfair. Like, I don't know what she's done, but basically suddenly she's making huge films, with like massive budgets, and she's able to carry that. I don't know what's going on there, but you know, she's done some good acting in the
Mm-hmm.
past, but suddenly she just turns on, like she flicks a button or something, says that she's a filmmaker. I don't get that. That's a bit hard for me to kind
I
of
I
swallow.
don't I don't have anything to say on that, but
Yeah.
well, yeah, it is what it is.
Mm.
Done now. So what else, babe?
Well, I think Jimon Hunsu is an amazing actor. Like, he played another Bosley that was like the field Bosley and the handler of the other lady. When they get attacked and he gets killed, they kind of wasted him. So that I think you wasted a lot of great talent. You wasted Jimon Hunsu. You wasted
Oh, he
Patrick
was in that
Stewart.
Fast and Furious, isn't
Yeah,
it?
he's a very good
Oh
actor. The
yes, I
very first time I
remember.
saw Jimon Hunsu was in Stargate. He played one of the Anubis gods for Ra. So he had a
Mm-hmm.
bit part in that, like a non-speaking part, but he had a lot of presence. He's an ex-model turned actor, and he's another guy I respect because he really like has built his career up by staying natural to his strengths, and he's like really amazing in a few films that I've seen him in. Like, he was amazing in Gladiator. He played one of the slaves who rebels with Russell Crowe's character, and he was also really good as the kind of mercenary hunter in The Island, which is a Michael Bay film I like about cloning. So visually, that film is really good, and he's very good in it as this kind of like mercenary who chases after the products, that the agency has made for their clients. Going back to this film, I'm just trying to think of
And we went
what's really
blank.
good about it. Exactly. I mean, like for Pri, it was really hard. Like she had forgotten
See,
most of the film, isn't it?
yes,
Yeah.
I completely forgot because I saw the movie and I didn't like it and I forgot about it. And when we were
So
about
your
to do this
memory just
podcast,
blanked, isn't it?
I
Like...
had to read again and speak with Ray. Like, what was the movie again?
So yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
like, what can you
to be
say?
honest, Han, I mean, this movie is completely like telling like all men are shit. Sorry,
Mm,
but to be honest, there are women who are shit as well.
mm,
But there are people in this world, men and women, who are amazing as well.
yeah, we
It
proved
sh-
that.
it should be, I don't know, something.
It should be like the
It shouldn't
Justice
be
League.
so much of not so much of negativity.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. It should be more like a positive action movie, fun comedy type. I mean,
As a writer, I don't do that. I don't write the characters with that typical kind of stereotype. If I want the lead to be female, then she has everything in her character arc to make her overcome something, like
mm,
you as a writer, you need to put a person on a journey. So I've got like lots of different films and lots of different franchises where I've got strong female leads, but
mm,
what I do is the way I write them is that I'm writing them in the mentality that I'm that person and I'm living that journey. So if you're writing the film with some kind of agenda in mind, that you want to be political or you want to try to rewire some misogynistic people's brains, yeah, that's not going to happen, and you shouldn't even, like, that's a futile attempt to try to teach someone to care about humans as equals. This is something that's taught. I have so many powerful women in my life. I've got Pri. She's like my right arm, my Valkyrie. She's here. She gives me so much strength. And as a man, I can actually very honestly say that, I can go through anything, like take any kind of physical punishment, but without someone there to care for me, to have a life partner, it's just sometimes the life isn't worth going through. So I'm very grateful that I have her in my life. I'm very grateful to be even born, that my mom carried me and basically nurtured me into the man I am today. The filmmaker that I am today, the person I am today is because my mom came every day, like when I was bullied in school, she would come and, give me food and like, take care of me and be there for me and basically help me, get back up and say, you know what, keep fighting, keep doing stuff. So I've got a lot of my mom's fire. She's got like, this kind of tiger, kind of lioness kind of will, and she's an amazing person. And my sister is amazing too, because she's gone through so many things in her life, but she still powers through, and she just, like finished her degree and, got really kind of like high marks and stuff. And this was coming from like, she did interior design, and she's coming from like her artistic background, but had to learn all of the things about, like measurements and styles and things like that. So she
and
never
she's
gave up.
definitely
She
truly
killed it, and she
amazing.
did amazing stuff. So
Yeah.
I've got so many great like powerful females in my family, and great men as well, great kind of male figures. So it's a beautiful balance, and I think that that's very important. Just remember the balance.
Yes.
Humanity is always about balance and striving to become more than we are. So we progress humanity, we protect humanity, and it just keeps going, and
Yes.
we keep it going.
And the world we are living, Han, we need both men and women, yeah. And both men and women are powerful in their own way, you know.
Absolutely.
And in this movie, if they want to portray the power of the woman, they can, but don't put down men.
Mm. Don't use them as a kind of like
Yeah,
a uh like you're basically using them as a kind of trope. This film is a massive trope.
yeah.
That would be the term I would use, where basically it's got an
I mean,
agenda
yeah. I mean,
in it, and I don't like that. You should,
I mean, they can show the power of women because this is all about Charlie's Angels. That the angels are the warrior angels. You know, they're powerful. They can portray that,
yeah.
but don't put down the men down because men are indeed equally powerful as well. but there are, and don't take me wrong, yeah, there are men and women who are shit. I've told before as well. There
Yeah,
are men and women who are really shit.
yeah,
If they want to put it down together.
yeah,
But if they want to portray something, focus on Charlie's Angels, focus on the ladies' power, fine, do it. But don't say like, okay, all men are shit. I'm like, no, they're not. I mean, it's like there are men who are shit, but there are men who are powerful, like you, Han.
yeah,
You are like a man with so much of talent, a powerful mind. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, you being a unique human being in this world. I mean, people have to see your talent. It's freaking amazing. So I just don't like the fact, number one, Bosley becoming the villain. Number two, like putting down men. I mean, number three, if you want to focus on woman power, just do it.
yeah. And that's what makes me sad about this film. Like, if I had a crack at it, it would have been completely different. It would have been really well organized. There would have been a proper act structure. We know who's doing the stuff. The angels are sick. Charlie's still alive. You know, like they killed the original Charlie off. Whereas I would have said that the original Charlie retired and then his son took over, who he named
In this
Charlie or
movie,
something.
in fact, sorry to stop you, honey. In this movie, in fact, them showing the power of people, women from all over the world.
Hmm.
That's nice.
That was the best bit in the film. That
Yeah,
montage of all the women doing stuff, surfing, snowboarding, you know, like doing
yeah.
skateboarding, doing
I
stunts.
mean, this clearly shows that it's equal. You know, the woman from different country, it's not the exterior, it's the internal strength you have. You know,
Yeah,
the exterior, the color, the cause, the creed, it doesn't define. It's the human being. You know, you what we say humanity, right?
yeah.
It
People
really.
forget that every strong man has come from a strong woman who's had to carry that man, you
Mm,
know, so we're all a byproduct of this human nature, you know, our bond. So it's the nurture of a mother
mm,
that then forms the strong man.
yeah.
So if we have strong mothers and strong fathers, they build stronger humans. So
Yes.
this separation of people, you know, like this kind of this design to try and divide us
Yeah.
culturally and also in relationships. I
Mm,
don't believe in this kind of stuff and I fight these kind of things. I feel that as humans, we need to band together and we need to kind of grow up and more mature and learn. We know what's going on in the planet. We know what's going on in the world. We know economics is a
mm.
tool, but we abuse things and we allow people who are insidious to like basically attempt to control us.
we should we should create a world to just nullify all the negative energy and only positive energy is there, which is going to be a bit difficult, but there's no harm in trying.
One day. I
Well,
mean, one day it'd
I
be
mean,
amazing.
it's just the negative energy. We need to cut them off. You know, it's the world is such a beautiful place,
It
and
is.
there are so many positive people out there as well. But
Mm.
because of this few negative people, it really pulls down the positive
It,
people as
it's
well.
also because of greed, baby. When you look at it, like it's greed. I mean, we created time, and our time is then bought with money, and then
Hmm.
money is basically you want more of it so that you can do more and control more and have power, wealth, and status.
Well,
And then,
everyone can have power.
yeah,
I mean,
I mean, the way some people look at it is that they won't even look at you. You know, like if you're a server or something. And I'm completely against this kind of philosophy. Everybody who's ever served me, I will always thank them. I'm always appreciative of people
yes.
who serve me food or
Mm.
wait on me or they give me something or you know there's some kind of a clerk or you know a teller at a bank or something, they're providing me a service, you
Mm.
know, like at like the Sainsbury's or the you know the shopping place I go to, and I always try to talk to them because to me they're people.
The
And
human being.
yeah, and the other thing that I really hate is that when a certain person has a certain car or a certain wealth status, they look down upon you with what you have, you know, and you know I hate that. I hate that kind of like I'm just gonna look down upon you because I might be of a higher level. You know, like
Yeah.
there's situations I've been in where people have thought that they're very wealthy and you know, basically they think I'm marching dimes or something, you know, like I don't have basically where they are, so they just sort of like don't look at us in the same way and I don't look at people like
I
that.
mean, if you have an amazing car, good for you. Ride it, enjoy it, feel it, feel
Yeah.
good. You don't need to tell
flaunt it and act like
tell
it's
other
big.
people like, oh, I'm the best.
Because
I'm
I
like,
see all
no.
these, like, second generation rich kids on Instagram and stuff like that who just have money thrown at them from their very wealthy and affluent parents who may have earned their money from good things or may have earned their money from insidious things. You'll just never know what kind of secrets they have in their closets. But when you look at the kids, you can kind of tell which way they're leaning
Mm,
and the kind of mentality that they have. So there's a lot of spoiled rich kids, and there's the massive kind of shift in people not making enough and struggling to just survive, and people who have too much. Like
mm,
when is a billion too much? Like having billions, like there's such a point in time where automatically you should just start returning it to humanity, in humanitarian projects and stuff.
mm.
There's really no need for one person to have like a quadrillion, billions and billions of money. What are you gonna do with it? You're
When you
just an
die, what's
individual.
gonna
You're
happen?
just gonna have all your heirs fight over it and create more sadness and more thing. Why not just pump it back into communities?
Yes,
Pump it back into struggling areas.
to the society, to the world, make it a more beautiful
I
place.
really hope to do that one day.
I
You know?
mean, we all live once. We are born once. We die once. We're definitely gonna die. It's
Exactly.
in our in our it's written in our life. I
Mm,
mean, just one life. But when we have the money, invest in the world so the later generation can enjoy it while they're living their life.
yeah.
I mean,
I mean, our oceans are getting kind of like bad, or
yeah.
stuff's getting bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to basically, be this kind of earth kind of, hippie type kind of person. I love my freaking,
Game.
motorcycles, games, and Mustangs and gas guzzling machines and shit. So I'm not really kind of like how I would say I would say that I try. I
Mm.
try as a human to do better. You know, um, One day I will.
How about we bring the balance? Like
Yeah, the
we
balance.
all get this at the same time, not hurt the Mother Earth.
See, that would be cool. Like, there's
Like,
lots of things that I've sort of been trying to think about when I become what I mean, like, by more, if I have more resources, I'd make more initiatives to kind of like clean the ocean up and, tools that just won't interfere with normal human development. They're just tools and byproducts of what we do. If we're gonna pollute, just build a tool that will clean it up.
mm-hmm.
So as soon as you've polluted, it's already been cleaned up. It's a laziness that we have as humans and a selfishness.
Sorry, but I feel like this COVID, when everything got shut down,
Mm,
I think the air became more cleaner.
that's very true, and that's been
I think
proven.
in a year, in 12, within this 12 months period, we should have 1 month of not using any of the factory stuff,
See, that would be cool. I
just
mean, like
to,
an entire shutdown. I think
yeah,
it would be
just to
nice if we
clear
just
the
had
air.
a sort of like a peace month.
Sorry, to clean the air. What am I saying?
Yeah.
Clean the air.
Clear the air is fine as well. I mean, basically, what I'm thinking is that if I was the government to try and basically fix infrastructure and stuff, you just shut it down for a month.
For a month and
Whether
just,
that's economically
I
possible is
don't
another
know.
thing. But they talk a lot about not having money. I remember, like, stuff people were chatting about, and suddenly we've got all this extra dough to bail out stuff. So people are very interesting. Anyway, we're diverging from the
Too much.
films now.
Sorry,
We're
guys.
getting into other stuff, but that's the whole point of this podcast. It's my podcast. We can talk
Uh,
about whatever we like and review films and do stuff. But I want you guys to know that
you know why we got
the impression
diver?
I don't want to give you guys is that we're hypocrites. We're trying to say peace, love, and then I'm freaking driving my motorcycle and fucking full speed down the thing because I will. I love freaking motorcycles and cars and going fast and stuff. It doesn't matter, but I do help people and I do help the earth. That's the code of the Rep Knights. So the philosophy that I made and when I formed Rai Productions was that then the evolution of becoming the Rep Knights was is that we were going to stand for something. We were not only going to make great films and movies and TV shows, but I was going to get people to rally behind me, so that we can change things, change things for the better because humanity needs to be progressed and it needs to be protected. and so we persevere. And that's really important to me, and I'll keep doing that till my dying day. I want you guys to see my bigger films. I want you guys to see my indie films. I want you to see Rogue Legacy
Yes.
when it comes out, because Rogue
Yes.
Legacy starts the ball going, and House of R.E.P is brilliant as well because it keeps my voice out there. It helps me to basically process my thoughts and my view on the films and the filmmaking business, my passion, my life. I love it. And I love doing this. Love doing it with Z. I love doing it with Pre. It's just a brilliant show. I really love the show, and I love the way it's evolving. So House of R.E.P. You'll get to see Rogue Legacy. There'll be more films. I've got lots of scripts that have been cooked up, and we're just waiting for COVID to kind of loosen up a bit so we can get these products out. Like new music videos, new stuff, and yeah. So going back to Charlie's Angels, Elizabeth Banks, it feels as though, she's not trying to. She's trying to be a supportive character, kind of be this Tony Stark kind of figure for the franchise, but she ends up kind of overshadowing all the other actresses, which I don't like. So that's a problem. She should have just taken a step back, stayed behind the camera. She didn't have to actually be in the film and also direct it. I feel that kind of hurt her creatively because she's worrying about her lines. She's worrying about, like her timings and stuff with her character when she should have been concentrating on her shot placement and basically being in the film. Like no, sorry, not being in the film, making the film. So either be in the film or make the film. I feel that it was a very important film for you. You should have directed it. You should have had someone else, be in the front. Like you should have had a sort of like a day play contract or some kind of contract with one of veteran angels, one of the veteran actresses brought him back. You could have had Cameron or Lucy Liu, play one of the older agents who's now a teacher. Patrick Stewart was wasted as Bosley. The Bosley character,
Yeah, definitely.
evolving the Bosley character to become a code name, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that because then that explains Bernie Mac and Bill Murray's kind of continuity kind of thing because Bill Murray left the original Charlie's Angels because he just didn't want to come back and he had like slight fights with he had like an interesting dynamic with Lucy Liu where I think he was poking fun at her or something about her acting in a kind of fun way, but then she took it the wrong way and they had like a bit of a spat and a fight. But they've since made up, and Lucy Liu is an amazing actress. Let me just make this clear. She's very, very, very good at acting. And also on top
Yes.
of that, Bill Murray's a legend in comedy. So it was like a bit difficult for me to kind of like understand why they would have a problem with each other. And she's a phenomenal director now. So she's been directing like, episodes and
Which
other
one?
stuff, Lucy Liu. So she's
Oh,
been moving into
which
filmmaking.
episodes?
I don't know. She's directed like episodes of Sherlock and not Sherlock, Elementary, the show she's on, and other things. So,
That's nice.
yeah. So it's good to see her kind of career evolve
I
into behind the
really
scenes.
loved her in Charlie's Angels. She
She's
was
an amazing
so
actress.
good.
I loved her in Lucky Number 11. If you've ever
Ah,
seen that film, it's very good, and she's just a brilliant actress. Very
she's
brilliant
amazing.
actress.
I love her, man. Hopefully someday we can work with
The
her.
first time I ever saw her was in Ally McBeal. This was a show I never really watched, but my
Mm.
friend watched it and he was really tight into the show. But then I saw her and then I just was looking at her acting. I thought, wow, this woman can really do stuff, and it's really good. I'd love to work with her one day. She's a brilliant actress. Cameron Diaz is great too, and
Oh,
Drew
she's
Barrymore's
hilarious.
awesome as well. She's funny. I think that they were all right. They did a good job,
I
and
still
it's a good
remember the
franchise.
dance at Charlie's Angels with
When in the
Cameron.
chair,
Yeah,
is it? I think it's Drew Barrymore who does it when she's in the chair. She
no,
does that
all
dance.
three were dancing. Cameron Diaz started a dance, and
Okay.
then all two
That
joined.
bit I can't remember.
Ah,
Yeah. I just remember Crispin Glover from Back to the Future making his sort of subtle return in that franchise as that silent, weird assassin dude. Yeah, so he was a standout in that.
I
Like
feel like
his
watching the
performance was
old
very good.
Charlie's
We
Angels
will.
again.
We'll watch him again and then we'll do a retrospective House of Rep on that. No comment. Man.
Yeah.
But the guy was cool, right? That
Which
assassin,
one?
the Ed Hardy looking dude.
Oh,
Yeah, he had all
yes.
that kind of tattoos and that kind of. I don't know what that look is called. That old school kind of rockabilly, I guess it would be.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So, yeah, he was quite cool. The other guy, the other British actor who played like that conglomerate dude who was buying the thing, Sam Claflin. He played
Mm.
like Alexander Brock or something. The guy who's making this electromagnetic AI thing. He just kind of was okay, but Jonathan Tucker, who played the bad guy,
Oh
he played
yes.
like the heavy. He was good in that. He was
Oh
quite
yes,
good.
sorry.
Yeah.
Jonathan Tucker was definitely good in this movie when he acted like as a bad guy.
Mm,
I think he should be in another action movie again. Like
yeah.
not in
It would have
like
been better if he actually played Bosley, like the young Bosley, and he was like their guy who could actually fight. And then there
Mhm.
was a comedic element. The movie is missing that. The original Bosley was funny. He would
Oh
play off the
yes.
angels.
Yes.
So Bill Murray's character captured that in his Bosley. Bernie Mac captured that as Bosley too in the second one. Now, in the original series, Bosley was kind of like a married man who would kind of like, be looking after his angels. He would look out for them and kind of play off of their kind of dynamic. So that's what this film should have had. That's what this film's lacking.
Yeah.
This film's pretty terrible. You know, um, when I actually think about it, and from a filmmaker's point of view, I'm really disappointed because I know Elizabeth Banks could have done better.
Mhm.
I feel that this film was kind of made to keep people working,
Mhm.
so that's another problem, and to have something out there which kind of irritates me because if they had come to me and said, Ray, we've got 70 mil, yeah, we want to re-energize Charlie's Angels, what can you do? There's like 400, 500 ideas I've got cooking. Even right now, I
More
know
than that.
I know a way of fixing this. Like I could
Yeah.
fix this with a sequel, if they are, but I don't think they'll make anything. I think the franchise is dead for a bit, or it's gonna go to sleep for a while. I think what I'll have to do, if I want to, is bring this back to TV because it needs room to breathe. I don't think Charlie's Angels really exists well in movie form. I think that they should make it as a TV show again, but they've already tried and it lasted for like a season before it was cancelled, so it needs a bit of a break. I think we've got to put the franchise to sleep for a bit and maybe do something new.
Maybe a
Yeah,
different warrior.
I have
You
another
know.
show that's better than this that I've written that I'd like to get out, but I'm not going to talk about it much right now.
Maybe in the future.
Yeah, one day you guys will see it, and I think you'll really love it. So, yeah, so Kirsten Stewart, I don't know, I feel that she was wooden in the show.
Oh, it just reminded me,
Um,
Kirsten Stewart. Like it was only the first movie of Twilight that I liked the most.
is it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So.
Oh, that bit, the jockey bit was stupid. That mission bit where she had to chase on the horse just to put the tracker. Are you telling me the guys in the car are not going to notice this woman chasing them on a horse and throwing the tracker onto their car?
uh,
Because she made such an effort to like illegally ride the horse across the field and stuff.
yeah.
And, like no one's going to notice that. I mean, I look in my mirrors all the time when I'm driving, and then I'm going to notice this jockey lady's chasing me. You
Yeah.
know?
And
And we're supposed to
then.
be some crack security team,
Mm,
and she missed the thing and this and that, and that was a really botchy mission, and that bit was stupid.
don't know what to
What other
say.
stupid bits were in the film? Car
Oh,
chase was cool at the start with that machine gun car in it, when she was doing
I
the gun
actually
stuff.
like that scene with the Jonathan Tucker and who was that lady again? That fight kind of a scene that plus,
Mm.
and
Where
then
Ella Belinsky's like saving Naomi Scott, right?
yeah, one of the scene. I mean, I was just like thinking about this actor. He was good,
Mm.
as a villain, but not like the movie. But as a villain, the way he acted, it was good.
Mm. From a
So
technical perspective, the film was competently shot, though. So
I
Bill
think
Pope's
from this
cinematography was
movie,
good.
the actors that I really stand out is
Mm.
the Jonathan Tucker, and that
Mm.
actress, which I mixed up again. What was her name again?
Ella Belinsky, Belinska,
Yes,
something. Yeah.
Ella Balinski and
Belinska.
Jonathan
Yeah.
Tucker. These two actors stand out for me.
She's very good in this. And also, of
And
course, Jiman Hunsu. Anything he's
oh
in, he
yes,
just
yes,
shines. And Patrick
yes. How
Stewart,
can
of
I
course.
forget? Oh my God, how can
Yeah.
I forget the two
My TV
legendary
uncle.
actors?
I love that guy.
Yeah,
Sir Patrick Stewart. Sorry, please excuse me.
so
I need to give
Patrick
him his
Stewart.
title, where he is a knight.
uh,
Yeah,
and we are
I mean,
quiet.
I'm trying to think of what else to say. I mean, this is
uh,
a very interesting House of R.E.P episode because, like, it's the first time I was, well, not the first time, but it's like with this episode and the last one, Old God, I was expecting more from these films. I was really expecting things to kind of stand out, and really shine, and they're not doing that. These are not pushing the envelope with their budgets. But this film does a better job at spending 70 mil than Old God did.
Oh, so true, so true.
You know what I mean?
Totally agree.
More gunplay, more.
I'm just looking at the cast, honey, and I don't remember where was Demi Moore. Was she
Demi
there?
Moore is an archive footage.
Oh.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, she's not in the film.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people are just, like, sort of have cameos based on pictures and likenesses and stuff. Yeah. So they shot this film in September 2008. That's when principal photography started.
Was it 8?
Yeah.
15.
Sorry, not 2008, to 2018. And then it came out in, what was it? What was the release date?
No, they started development in 2015.
Yeah, in 15 they were developing it. That's true.
Yeah.
So they were developing the script and they opted to reboot it, but then principal photography started in 2018. And they shot in Germany and Turkey. So I think that kind of kept the budget in check. Yeah, it's received a lot of mixed reviews from critics as well, this film. Yeah, you should read the IMDb reviews. They're quite hilarious. People are just not happy with this film at all. And the little coda at the end when the original Angel came back. I can't remember which Angel she played, that woman, but she played the new Charlie with a voice box. That was a little bit silly too. I don't really like that. What else did you like about the film? Is there anything that was good? Like anything stood out other than, because we've already kind of like touched on who we like.
I think we pretty much touched.
Were there any kind of scene beats you like any fighting scenes and stuff?
I think we pretty much touched whatever we want to say, hon.
Do you think that the gunplay was good? The action scenes were set up good? No, you don't like it? I thought the start bit was the only bit that really kind of stood out, right? Fighting and choreography wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fighting was a lot better in the original films of the martial arts because the girls did a lot of kung fu and fighting, and I know String assisted in very kind of, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon style. But the martial arts style of the original film with its over the top kind of kicks and things was a lot different to this one. This one had a lot of guns in it. It was trying to be like a sort of like a spy kind of international thing. So yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, so I'm running out of things to say with this thing, so we should just wrap up this podcast. I want to thank you guys for listening to this.
Sorry, guys, to keep dragging it.
But yeah,
we're just trying our best to make it more entertaining and appealing, but we don't know what more to say.
There's really not much to say other than basically, this film sucks bad.
Thank you if you're still listening until now. That means a lot to us.
Definitely. I mean, it's great, like, that you guys are still listening. I mean, this is like a pretty bad film. I'm gonna give it my shields now, so it gets 1 shield. That's it. I was gonna get 3 at the start when Patrick Stewart was in it and stuff when I was watching it, and I was gonna get more.
Sir Patrick
Stewart. Sorry, please excuse me. And then it went back. It went back down to a 1, and 1 is like low. This film is like avoid. I would say avoid watching this film if you're not gonna be happy with seeing it. Baby, what do you think? What's your rating for this film?
Okay, 1.5.
1.5. Give it a little bit more. Well, aggregated is 1.
Because there are some good actors there.
Yeah.
Some good actors which I would like to.
Even they can't save it. That's the thing.
Huh?
They couldn't save the film,
Yeah, but I want to see them in some other action movie though. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, I definitely like, as I mentioned, this Ella and Jonathan. They really stand out, and of course, our legendary actors like Sir Patrick, Jimon. Yeah. So yeah. So that's all, I guess. Isn't it, huh?
Brilliant. So yeah, let's wrap up this House of R.E.P. Thanks for listening, guys, for another great episode of Thor. I'm your host, Ray Janjua, filmmaker and all-round badass rep knight, and I'm with my badass Valkyrie Pri, who's the light of the rep knights. And thank you, Pri, for joining me on this podcast.
Thank you, and thank you guys for listening.
And we'll catch you on the next episode.
See ya.